book lovers, it is GSwiz here, and I'm here today to talk about my romance companion series TBR. So if you didn't know, this is a 7 on Sunday topic, and I am the host of 7 on Sunday. I will link the Goodreads page down in the description where you can check it out, and you can participate in a topic in the future, or you can suggest a topic. And please excuse the croaky throat. I am recovering, or trying to recover at least, from a flu, and yeah, this has not been fun. I mean, I'm just mentioning that in case I sound oddly different today, but if I sound like I'm not enthusiastic about things, it's just my vocal range is not there right now. So it's probably not a secret to any of you that I love romance novels, but I specifically love companion romance novels / series. I do like myself a good romance contemporary, but I will have more incentive to pick up a romance contemporary if I find out that it's part of a companion series where we're following a group of friends or a group of siblings, all that stuff etc. But it's also probably not a secret to you guys that I have a bad habit of collecting series as the books come out without necessarily starting them or continuing on with them until we get closer and closer to the later books coming out in the series. I've got to see if any of these books on my TBR have even been read. Lol, this is so funny. So I've at least started one of the books on this TBR. I can't say the same for the rest of the books on this TBR. Overall, I've got a bunch of romance companion series that I currently have on my TBR. These ones I want to prioritize getting to sooner rather than later. There's so many romance companion series that I'm currently reading at the moment, like the Maple Hills series and the Anna Huang series, what was it, the Kings of Sin series, all that stuff etc. And I do dabble in a Tessa Bailey romance companion series every once in a while as well, but these ones have just been sitting on my shelves recently and they need to be read. So what better time to discuss this than the month of love? I guess without further ado, let's get straight into this topic, and I will talk about the romance companion series that I have on my shelves currently that need to be read. The first romance companion series that I have to mention on this list today is the Cuban Girls Guide series. I'm not too sure if it's actually Cuban Girls Guide or a Girls Guide series. I really don't know the name of the series, but the first book is A Cuban Girl's Guide to Tea and Tomorrow, and the companion sequel is A British Girl's Guide to Hurricanes and Heartbreak, and I believe that the British girl is friends with the Cuban girl. Honestly, I don't know much about the series at all, but when I found out that this first book is getting a movie adaptation and Kid Connor is going to be playing the love interest, I was intrigued. So I decided that I wanted to pick these books up before I go into the movie adaptation eventually. I'm so looking forward to watching it. I really hope it's just as good as the book. I'm also hearing that this book is absolutely amazing. I struggle to read young adult contemporary novels, but as of recently, I have been getting into them by reading Lynn Painter's Better Than the Movies and The Do-Over, and then also reading Rachel Lynn Solomon's Today, Tonight, and Tomorrow. So I do want to read more young adult contemporary just as long as the romantic relationships are pretty good. I have a very good feeling about Cuban Girls Guide because I've seen many rave reviews about this book in particular, and I couldn't resist getting British Girls Guide because I love this cover so much. Oh my goodness, these covers are magnificent. I cannot wait to read these books and let you guys know how I go with them. I really hope I love them. And next up, I bring a romance companion series up that I had no idea was actually a romance companion series. I thought that Mr. Wrong Number was its own story, and I thought that The Love Wager was its own story, and then I went on Goodreads or something and found out that these two are part of the same series. They are a companion duo. I don't know if there's going to be a third book in the series or not, but I did previously mention Lynn Painter and Better Than the Movies. I love that book so much. I love Lynn Painter's young adult work. I'm not hearing the best things about her adult works over her young adult works. However, I'm still willing to give them a try because I honestly loved and adored Better Than the Movies, and I also loved The Do-Over, and The Do-Over did not get as many rave reviews as Better Than the Movies. So I'm wondering whether or not I will love this book series regardless of what everyone is saying about it, because I still enjoyed The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. And additionally, Mr. Wrong Number intrigued me because the premise sounds awesome. I think it has to do with someone having the wrong number for the love interest, and madness ensues from there, I guess. I don't know what happens, but I'm very much looking forward to checking this companion duet out. I don't know whether it's going to be extended, but I just want to read more by Lynn Painter in general, so I hope this is good. And And the next romance companion series that I've put on my TBR is this one by Sarah Adams. I think it's the When in Rome series. I also thought that When in Rome was a standalone, and then when I saw Practice Makes Perfect in a similar cover style, I was wondering if this just so happened to be a romance companion series, and I suspected correctly. It is. And I've heard great things about Sarah Adams' works in general. I do want to get to the cheat sheet in February, so I'm hoping to do that before I get to these books. And yes, I've been putting these books off specifically because I want to get to the cheat sheet first, because everyone has been screaming at me to read the cheat sheet for the last 2 years now. I also pretty much cover purchased these as well. I mean, they're absolutely stunning, adorable, and I'm hoping to get to them sometime soon, especially because I do want to read the cheat sheet in February. And the next romance companion series that I have on my TBR, I feel kind of ashamed about because I have the Afterlight exclusive editions of them and I have not yet read them. I don't know how long it's been. It's probably been around at least 6 months since I received the Kiss Quotient series by Helen Huang. I've heard many good things about the series. I do hear that the series progresses to feel more like woman's fiction than it does romantic fiction, and I'm not mad about that because I think I'm at the stage of my life where I can appreciate a good, what everyone calls chick lit, I guess. I am actually even more curious about The Bride Test because I had no idea that it was an immigration romance until recently, and everyone is telling me to read The Bride Test because of that. I'm very much looking forward to getting to these ones eventually. I really hope to get to these ones sooner rather than later. Just look at how beautiful these editions are. I was waiting for them to come out in matching heights here in Australia, and they didn't before we got Afterlight exclusive editions, so that's why I took advantage of Afterlight's offer. I decided to purchase these, and now these are very well sought after. I'm seeing this set sell for like 350 Australian dollars or higher. This series seems to be a lot of people's unicorn series, so I'm hoping that it can become one of my unicorn series. I don't know. I mean, I have the set already, so it's not necessarily my unicorn that I'm looking for, but I might just have a unicorn on my shelf that I might just appreciate for the days to come if I decide to read the series anytime soon. The next romance companion series I have on my TBR, I literally purchased because of the covers. Like, I love the covers for the Knock 'Em Out series by Lucy Score. I also hear great things about Lucy Score's writing. I do have a close friend who is a massive Lucy Score fan, so I am very much happy for her. Like, I'm pretty sure she's read almost every single one of Lucy Score's books at this point, and I have not yet read a single one. I did actually start Maggie Moves On, but I did not continue with Maggie Moves On. I did not move on with that book. The pun was intended and probably did not land the way that I wanted it to. But this book series right here, I think I want to get to most of all because I believe this was the series that blew Lucy Score up, and I believe that this series was what made publishers catch on, and essentially it's what got her traditionally published. So I do want to get to this one sometime soon. I have been hearing that the writing is a little bit juvenile in the series, so I am going into this series expecting that it might be corny. There's only one way to find out for myself, and that is if I actually read the books. I haven't like read any passages from the books, but I've seen a lot of GOODREADS reviews that are saying it's okay. I mean, in terms of writing, it's okay, but I'm also seeing a bunch of positive reviews about the story. So I'm hoping that this story will have a positive impact on me and that I will get to it sometime soon. Fingers crossed it will be this year. If it's not, then okay, eventually. I mean, I'm not gonna get rid of these books anytime soon because these covers are stunning. And the next romance companion series that I have on my TBR is the Marriage Game Trilogy by Sarah Desai. I have wanted to read this one for quite some time, but also these covers, they're stunning. I am like kind of obsessed with them, and yes, they were a defining factor in why I actually picked these up and put them on my TBR. But also, this series is giving me Marriage of Convenience vibes, especially with the Marriage Game being the first title in the series, and I believe the title of the series in general. I'm actually not sure what the series name is, but I do like the Marriage Game, the Dating Plan, and the Singles Table. I like that formula. Yeah, overall, it's giving me all of those Marriage of Convenience vibes that I want out of a series. So I'm hoping to get to this one sometime, hopefully during Valentine's period, if not sometime sooner rather than later, because I reckon this series would make a perfect binge read considering that these books aren't actually that long at all. I reckon I could devour these books within a week. I do plan on binge reading this series sometime, but I feel as if this series is one that I would save for a rainy day, like when I'm looking for something that's quick, fun, and easy, but also has the potential to pull on my heartstrings considering that Marriage of Convenience is used as a trope. I hope I love it because based on the covers and the titles, I reckon I will. And a romance companion series that has been blowing up on the book talks, the book twitters, everywhere recently is this series right here, Pucking Around. Well, I mean, Pucking Around is the first book in the series, but it's actually the Jacksonville Rays series. So this is book 1, and this right here is book 2, Pucking Wild. I actually was like, oh, I don't know if I want to get to that one anytime soon, especially because this book is a chunker. But recently my friend was like, oh my goodness grace, the poly representation in this book is incredible, and it's definitely one of the best poly books I've ever read. Like, yes, I already knew that book 1 was Why Choose, but I had no idea that the poly representation was really good. So I've decided to bump it up on my TBR. I'm not gonna lie though, at this point of time, I think based on the TikToks that I was seeing around book talkers taking it too far when it comes to real life hockey players and projecting their desires onto them, it did kind of turn me off, especially because I heard that this book series right here was a big inspiration behind that. But then also you've got the Icebreaker series, you've got Elle Kennedy's book series as well. But that all being said, it's definitely not the author's fault. Like, it's definitely not Emily Raff's fault. However, I think when you see toxicity in a fandom, it kind of turns you off. I don't know, that's me. Like, when I see toxicity within a fandom, it definitely turns me off from trying out the thing. I don't care what some people are gonna say about it. I don't care about what the TikTok girlies are gonna say about it. That's toxicity. It's not right. I know I shouldn't have gone on the side tangent, but it explains why I have not yet picked this book series up. I do want to though. It definitely took my friend really convincing me, being like, trust me, this book is amazing. And she reads a lot of poly romances too. So that coming from her is very promising. And I'm honestly hoping, fingers crossed, I will love this book series just as much as my friend absolutely adores it. I've seen positive reviews all around for it as well, but I think it was the fandom toxicity that really took me out for a bit, and I don't want to take that out on this author or the series, so I do want to give this book series a chance. And also, additionally, Emily Raff will be coming to Babe 2025, so I do actually want to read the series in the lead up to that, and I'm really hoping I just love it as much as everyone else does. This first book is a 700-page book, so I am intimidated. However, I'm hearing that it's absolutely incredible, so I'm kind of expecting it to be. And speaking of hockey romances, I also placed the Playing for Keeps series by Becca Mack on my TBR. Oh my goodness, these editions are so stunning. I love them so much. I actually started Consider Me. Yes, Consider Me is the one book I started out of the stack, and I was really enjoying it, but I had so much more to read at that time. So I started the first few chapters, and I was really enjoying my time, but the book is really long. Actually, I started listening to the audiobook, and the audiobook's actually a pretty long audiobook. So that is why I did not continue on with my listening session of the audiobook. However, I really want to do that sometime soon, and I actually placed Consider Me on my 24 books I want to read in 2024. So I am actually hoping to complete this book by the end of the year. I've just heard absolutely amazing things about the series. Like with Pucking Around, I've heard a few good reviews from friends that I trust, but from a few more friends, I've heard great things about this series. So I honestly cannot wait to get to this one, and I am actually definitely aiming to get to Consider Me this year. Like, unlike Pucking Around, I can see myself getting to Pucking Around before Babe 2025, but with Consider Me, I can see myself getting to it this year. I think because the page count is much shorter. Like, yeah, this is a 535 page book, so it's not as chunky, but if I find that I am going to be in a hockey romance fever or a sports romance fever after this book, then I will consider binge reading this series and then going on to Emily Raff's book series as well. I honestly reckon I'm gonna have a really fun time, especially because I loved the first few chapters of this book already. I reckon that this book's gonna be awesome. And last but certainly not least, I have Elsie Silver's Chestnut Springs on my TBR. This romance companion series intrigued me because I really love these UK covers. I know it's not a popular opinion to love these covers. I understand that they are kind of simplistic, but I really love these editions, okay? I also just love the pastel color range we have. I especially love the color of Hopeless. I think this is definitely one of my favorite colors ever. I just love seeing all these spines together. I love seeing these books on my shelves. They look so stunning, especially next to the Playing for Keeps series. Oh my goodness. Yes, Playing for Keeps is a bit more detailed with the watercolor, but it just goes very well with these books right here. The color palette is everything. You guys can tell that I really love my color. I was definitely motivated to get this book series because these covers and these spines are stunning, but I actually need to read this book series. But I'm also even more motivated to finally get to them because Elsie Silver is actually coming to Babe 2025 as well. So I do plan on getting to the series by the time the event happens, but yeah, I actually do want to get to these sometime soon. It's a small town romance, and that's all I really know about it. I actually was just intrigued in these covers. And yes, I've also seen this book series blow up on the bookternet, but I kind of know more about some of the other romance companion series on my TBR, like, you know, the sports romances that I've mentioned and the backlist romances that I previously mentioned. This book series right here is just fresh, it's new, and I barely know anything about it except for the fact that it takes place in a small town. But overall, I'm very much looking forward to trying something new out. I'm very much looking forward to being surprised. I reckon that this book series is going to surprise me in the best way possible. I don't know if I've seen a negative review or not yet. This book series has just been blowing up for hopefully good reason. If I don't get to this book series this year, it will definitely happen in 2025 because we all know what's happening in 2025. Babe is happening. I'm so looking forward to that, and I am looking forward to, hopefully, fingers crossed, meeting Elsie Silver and gushing to her about the books that she's written. So I guess that's gonna be it for this video today, book lovers. If you happen to stay to the end of the video, leave me the sparkle emoji. And if you happen to enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet already, join the amazing community of book lovers. And also, I have social medias. I'm at gswizzelbooks on Twitter and Instagram, and I'm also Goodreads. That's www.goodreads.com/gswizzle. And finally, I'm at TikTok. I'm at gswizzle on TikTok if you want to follow me there for some bookish content. I love you, book lovers, and I will see you later.
Started out with half and I flipped it in a double. Started out with half and I flipped it in a double.